So when you say excellent, I imagine all of the concerns that were raised before were either simply alarmist or they were wrong. Morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me. I think the thing with water quality is it's highly variable. But we were really confident going into the season over the long history of water quality monitoring that our key recreational beaches present excellent or good water quality for beachgoers. And we know that this information is important to people. It's become a very topical discussion, obviously, across the country. And leading into the season, we wanted to make sure that we presented all of the data to people so they could see for themselves that over 94% of our sampling across all of these beaches show very low numbers of contamination and present excellent water quality.
For those who don't know, and I'm afraid I'm also one of those who don't know, I've heard the term the red tide before, but I'm not entirely sure what that means. It seems to be something that gets brought up quite often when it comes to water quality in your part of the country. What is that about?
Yeah, so in Cape Town, we have, obviously, with the very rich water that we have in Cape Town, so we have cold Benguela current, and that's full of nutrients, and we have something which is generally known as upwelling, and we can also get downwelling, two components of that in this big ocean system, and that brings a huge amount of nutrients into the water. It's a natural system, and when we get that, we get an algal bloom, which takes up those nutrients, and there's a particular algae that produces a red tide, and it turns the water kind of brownish orange color. It's a totally natural event. And what happens with that when it does occur in a red tide is they're called harmful algal blooms, not harmful to people, but harmful algal blooms in that the algae it takes up most of the oxygen in the water column. And that can cause, particularly for creatures that can't get out of the way, a drop in oxygen gets them to either die or walk out of the water. And that's what's common, particularly in an area like Elands Bay,